This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Thursday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Here's what's making headlines on this February 20th.
It's hard to say it was extra effort because the detectives and officers do their job.
IMPD Chief Randall Taylor thanking officers and the community for helping to put 4 suspects in a quadruple homicide behind bars.
Plus, an Indiana lawmaker wants to make sure that all newborns in the state are screened for a deadly genetic disease.
And it is the sight every race fan was hoping to see. Ryan Newman up and walking. We'll tell you how he is doing this morning and when he plans to get back behind the wheel. Probably the most incredible picture on social media yesterday, seeing him up, leaving the hospital with his 2 little girls. We do want to get to our Storm Team 6 forecast, though, today for your Thursday.
That's right. Todd Clausen is standing by. And Todd, yesterday, the sunshine, I feel like, made all the difference to our moods, you could say. And we're going to have a little bit more of that today.
Yeah, you know, I always say this time of year, as the sun's starting to get stronger and stronger, if you're in the sunshine, it doesn't feel terrible, even if temperatures are in the 30s. But then once you kind of get into the shade, it's a different story. This morning, as you walk out the door, we're sitting at 25 degrees here in Indy. That's very similar to where we were yesterday, but you get to some of the outlying areas, and it's a little bit colder. 22 right now in Crawfordsville, 24 in Greenfield. Richmond sitting right now at 22 degrees, but there's a little more of a wind out there, and that's going to make those temperatures feel just a little bit colder. Now, have we not had the clouds in place, those temperatures would be in the teens, and as we go throughout the show, I'll show you what it's going to feel like tomorrow. These clouds are actually helping us out a little bit. Most of this precipitation stays down to our south, so we'll have the clouds this morning, and then those clouds will start to decrease as the day goes on. We break into sunshine later on this afternoon, but today is the coldest high temperature of the week, Lauren, only at 29 degrees.
All right, Todd, good news this morning. Let's take a look at your drive. Right now, things are moving along up to speed in Hamilton County, heading southbound on I-69 from State Road 37 to I-465. The ramp system there, you can see it's a 5-minute commute, so everything's traveling smoothly. As we take a look for your commute in the downtown area, I-65 at Washington Street, you can see traffic there is also traveling smoothly. We'll keep you updated on any crashes or delays. Well, today, these 4 suspects are going to make their first court appearance. They were arrested in connection with that quadruple homicide that happened on February 5th.
This morning, after 2 weeks of investigating, Indianapolis's top cop is crediting the community for their help in the investigation. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with what we know right now. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Meredith and Lauren. So 3 of those 4 suspects are 19 and the other 17 years old. And Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears says they're all looking at facing a long time, maybe even their entire lives in prison. Mears filed charges on Wednesday against Rodriguez Anderson, Cameron Banks, Desmond Banks, and LaShawn Watkins. All 4 are facing multiple counts of murder and robbery resulting in bodily injury. The announcement of the arrest comes 2 weeks after the quadruple homicide, and IMPD Chief Randall Taylor says the crime was solved with the assistance from the community, IMPD officers, and detectives who worked extra hours for a break in the case.
And people have to understand, I got a really good group of officers and investigators. They're seasoned. They've been doing this for a while. They do a fantastic job, and a lot of times people don't really see that.
Chief Taylor says their work is not done because there are still unsolved homicides here in the Circle City. He says solving these crimes is easier when the community gets involved. Again, the 4 suspects are due in court today at 1 o'clock for their initial hearings. Now, the families of the 4 victims say they are focusing on laying their loved ones to rest and continuing to grieve. We've got their funeral information over on the RTV6 News app. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. The time right now is 5:04 in the wake of the increased gun violence here in Indianapolis. The city is stepping up efforts on prosecuting guns that are used in those crimes. The Crime Gun Intelligence Center, it's set for an expansion of resources. The idea is to increase federal prosecutions of illegally possessed firearms. IMPD is assigning more officers to the multi-agency partnership as part of this expansion. The Crime Gun Intelligence Center, also known as CJIX, uses forensic and ballistic evidence to better investigate crimes and guns. Police say it's been essential in the cases, including helping them investigate after Fisher's K-9 officer Harley was shot and killed.
Without CJIC's help, we would never have been able to tie that weapon to people who had committed a wave of violence in Marion County and in Hamilton County.
City leaders say that while the center is doing a lot, it's going to take changing the hearts and minds of people willing to use guns to stop the city's violence problem.
A federal crime is growing across Indiana, but it's not a new crime. There have been 21 bank robberies in the Hoosier State already this year, according to the FBI. That's compared to 7 in 2018 and 7 in 2019 during the same time frame. A special agent tells RTV6 the increase is partly because of at least 2 serial robbers. Investigators say bank robberies are not a victimless crime.
You can imagine that's very traumatic for the victim tellers and the victim bank employees. I have seen tellers, bank tellers who are the victims of robberies never go back to work in the banking industry.
Task force has already made several arrests in bank robbery cases this year. Now they need the public's help tracking down 25-year-old James Taylor. He's accused of robbing 6 banks in the Indianapolis area. Police say he should be considered armed and dangerous. If you have any information about him, you can call in tips to the FBI or Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
Covering the State House this morning, a state representative hopes to pass a bill that would make screening for a deadly genetic disease in newborns a law. State Representative Ryan Lahr of Columbus wants all newborns in the state to be screened for ALD or adrenoleukodystrophy. The disease, which affects about 1 in 17,000 people, causes injury to the brain and leads to behavioral and neurological issues. It mostly affects males. Lahr says that adding screening for ALD to the required list could stop the disease from spreading. The bill has already passed the Senate, and Governor Holcomb will decide whether or not to sign it into law.
Today, you can weigh in on the future of a former marsh on the southwest side of Indianapolis. A Decatur Township committee will discuss a request to rezone the old store on Kentucky Avenue near Man Road. The company Palmer Trucks wants to put a multi-use facility on the property. The meeting starts at 6 tonight in the Goodwin Center on West Mooresville Road. It is open to the public. Last year, officials canceled plans to open a self-storage facility in that marsh after community backlash.
Time now is 5:07 when RTV6 says we're working for you. We're always trying to get a resolution. The lights are back on after part of the interstate downtown was left in the dark. Back in January, we told you about 3 high traffic areas on the interstate that have been stuck dark. One of those areas was near the South Split here downtown. As you know, you can see those lights are shining again, and they're brighter than ever before. You may notice that on your drive right now. Indianapolis Power and Light has been doing some service work to the light meters and that stretch of road. NDOT says once they are made aware of an outage, they leave it to the contractor to take 30 days to replace the bulbs or make repairs.
Hiring Hoosiers is RTV6's commitment to keep you informed about job opportunities now and in the future. And we want you to know about an India-based medical device manufacturer that will soon be breaking ground in Noblesville for its American headquarters. Panacea makes equipment used to diagnose and treat cancer. The company plans to build along the I-69 corridor at 141st Street and Oleo Road this summer. Hiring for many positions is set to start next year. And here's a sight that will put a lot of worried race fans' minds at ease.
That's NASCAR driver Ryan Newman here, walking out of that Florida hospital yesterday, holding the hands of his 2 daughters. Newman's race team, Roush Fenway Racing, also released another picture. The first was when he was still hospitalized, but clearly doing well. The South Bend native was hospitalized in serious condition after crashing on that last lap of Monday's Daytona 500. Difficult to watch there. Roush Fenway says that there's no timetable for his return to racing. Ross Chastain will drive number 6 car in Las Vegas this weekend.
I think so many of us were waiting for terrible news after seeing this crash.
Yeah, we heard he was awake and talking. What else does that mean?
We didn't know anything else, and then that to be the image that we see. Yeah, a very good surprise. And Todd, no surprises in the forecast for us today, thankfully.
No, we laid all out for you here, so we know what's coming in our direction, and that's just a lot of cold air here for the day today. In fact, today's the coldest day we have of the week as far as high temperatures go. Tomorrow morning is going to be the coldest low temperatures that we have. So right now we're going to be sitting in the 20s, and that's where we stay through the duration of your morning commute. In fact, the temperatures don't change a whole lot. About About 24 degrees at 6 a.m., only going up to 26 degrees by 10 a.m. And we have clouds this morning, but those clouds will start to thin out for sunshine as we work our way into the afternoon hours. And you can see these clouds that are in place. Despite the clouds being around, we do not have any precipitation. This is all going to stay down to our south, so that is good news, but temperatures only stay in the 20s and 30s today. About freezing in Bloomington, 33 in Columbus. As you work your way to the north, a little bit colder. Look for highs today in Lafayette as well as Kokomo to be right around 28 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. 6 Democrats took the stage in Las Vegas last night to battle it out ahead of Saturday's Nevada primary. And they didn't hold back against each other. Coming up, we'll have a recap of that fiery debate.
And several industries are reporting production slowdowns due to the coronavirus outbreak in China. Still ahead, details on what's being affected and how it could affect you personally. We'll be right back.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
A feisty and heated debate last night in Las Vegas as the 6 candidates for the Democrats made their pitch for the presidency.
The 9th Democratic debate was hosted by NBC. It was the first time the former New York City mayor appeared on the debate stage, and the gloves came off almost immediately, with 5 other candidates taking aim at Bloomberg.
I'd like to talk about who we're running against. A billionaire who calls women fat broads and horse-faced lesbians. And no, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about Mayor Bloomberg.
We have a grotesque and immoral distribution of wealth and income. Mike Bloomberg owns more wealth than the bottom 125 million Americans. That's wrong. That's immoral.
For his part, Bloomberg largely tried to stay above the fray, defending the more than $400 million he spent on his campaign so far.
Mayor Bloomberg, should you exist?
I can't speak for all billionaires. All I know is I've been very lucky, made a lot of money, and I'm giving it all away to make this country better. And a good chunk of it goes to the Democratic Party as well.
But the night wasn't all about Bloomberg. Former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg and Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar engaged in a testy back and forth after Klobuchar was unable to name the Mexican president during an interview with Telemundo last week.
You're literally in part of the committee that's overseeing these things, and we're not able to speak to literally the first thing about the politics of the country to ourselves.
Are you trying to say that I'm dumb, or are you mocking me here, Pete?
I'm saying that you shouldn't trivialize that.
I made an error. People sometimes forget names. I wish everyone was as perfect as you, Pete.
The Nevada primary is Saturday. The candidates next turn to South Carolina, where the 10th debate will be held on February 25th, just days ahead of that state's primary on the 29th.
As the Democratic candidates battled it out on stage in Nevada, President Trump held a rally in Phoenix. During his speech, the president talked about some of his first-term accomplishments, touting the economy and recent military successes in the Middle East. But the most talked-about moment of the night was when the president thanked a 100-year-old World War II vet. Irvin Julian was carried down the steps of the arena by 2 other attendees and received the biggest standing ovation of the night.
But they say he's a legitimate great hero of World War II, Irvin Julian. Irvin, thank you.
Oh, well, last night's event was the first of 3 rallies in 3 days for the president. Today, he'll take his tour to Colorado, and then it's off to a rally in Las Vegas on Friday ahead of the Nevada caucuses.
Awake brain surgery isn't something you just see on your favorite TV medical drama. It actually happens in real life, and it happens more often than you might think. Last week, 53-year-old Dagmar Turner played her violin while surgeons operated on her in a London hospital. Doctors say this was done to make sure surgery didn't impact her ability to play. Awake brain surgery has become a common tool used to help preserve a patient's brain function. And you'll be happy to know Turner's brain tumor was 90% removed without impairing her musical talent. Doctors say she should be able to return to her chair at the Isle of Wight Symphony Orchestra very soon. Wow. Just incredible. All right, Todd, we don't really have an incredible forecast, unfortunately. Thankfully, though, the sun is going to continue to shine.
Yeah, you know, that's the good news. Anytime the sun's out this time of year, we are doing okay. We had a stretch of 10 days in a row earlier this month when we had precipitation, whether it was rain or snow. So it's been a pretty gray month for us, pretty wet month with 2.5 inches of snow so far to date, which is below normal, by the way. 25 degrees, that's the current temperature right now. A bit of a breeze with the winds out of the north at 10 miles per hour. And everybody's sitting currently in the 20s with the exception of Bedford to the south at 31 degrees, 25 in Martinsville, 23 right now in Lafayette. And Muncie, you're at 24 degrees. You factor in a little bit of a wind, and it currently feels like it is down into the low 20s and teens for most of us. Now, we're getting a quick shot of this really cold air today for high temperatures, and then again tomorrow morning for your low temperatures. And you can see the single digits in Des Moines, 13 in Chicago. That's probably the range that we'll be in come this time tomorrow. So prepare yourself for that. But the good news is we're dry. We have no precipitation heading our way. We do have a little bit in the way of cloud cover this morning. And if we did not have these clouds in place, we'd probably be down into the teens or close to what they're seeing in Chicago this morning at 13 degrees. This cloud cover is actually helping us out just a little bit this morning. The storm system, and once again, they're getting a lot of not needed rainfall down across parts of Alabama and also into Mississippi with some heavy rain, and this is all going to bypass us to the south. So that is the good news, at least in our forecast going forward throughout the day today. So we'll deal with the clouds this morning. Very little warming will take place while these clouds are in place, and then once they start to break apart, we'll see the temperatures go up just a couple degrees today. 28 degrees by 2 p.m. and temperatures will level off right around 28 to 29 degrees. So it gets brighter as the day goes on. It just doesn't get a whole lot warmer with that north wind that is going to be in place. This evening, temperatures will cool off pretty quickly down to 20 degrees as we head into the 11 o'clock hour. And then here are your temperatures tomorrow morning. 13 in Peru, 13 in Indianapolis, about 16 in Bloomington. Wind chill values will be down in the single digits. And I wouldn't be shocked maybe if there's a few actual single digit temperatures up in northern locations. But once we get past tomorrow morning, we start to turn things around. We'll have sunshine in the forecast for tomorrow afternoon with a high temperature into the mid-30s. And then take a look at your weekend. It's getting better and better in the sense that I've pushed most of the shower activity to late Sunday and more in the way on Monday. So Saturday up to 45 degrees. Sunshine on Sunday with a high of 52. And then we'll deal with the rain on Monday into the morning hours on Tuesday. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's plan out your commute. Taking a look at drive times right now on eastbound I-70 heading in from the area near the airport. Starting off here at Ronald Reagan Parkway, heading downtown to the South Split. It's a 12-minute drive right now, no delays. So let's head north of this spot, give you a live picture from our INDOT traffic camera at I-465 and I-74. Traffic in this spot is traveling smoothly. We'll continue to keep our eyes on your roads throughout the morning.
Jaguar Land Rover is flying auto parts made in China to its European factories. The move comes as the new coronavirus outbreak puts a dent in the car company's supply chain. The company's CEO says shipping by air is more expensive, but will allow European factories to continue production. Jaguar says if they don't move operations, they'll run out of 17 different parts in another 2 weeks. Chinese factories are struggling to reopen due to restrictions from the outbreak. Factories run by Tesla, Ford, and Nissan have completely shut down.
Meanwhile, the coronavirus outbreak is also impacting other industries like technology and retail. Apple says a slowdown in production will likely lead to iPhone shortages. The company also says iPhone shortage could potentially lead to higher prices. Meanwhile, representatives at Walmart say long-term disruption from the outbreak could impact their business as well. About 1/3 of the merchandise sold in Walmart's U.S. stores is made in other countries like China. And Under Armour told the investors that the revenue in the first months of 2020 would take up to a $60 million hit because of the coronavirus outbreak.
Anheuser-Busch is aiming to become the king of spiked seltzer drinks, and they're well on their way. Bud Light Seltzer just launched last month, and it's already the third most popular hard seltzer in the country. It's made from cane sugar and natural fruit flavors. One can has 100 calories and just 2 grams of carbs. White Claw, however, is still the top-selling hard seltzer, followed by Truly, and it looks like the love of hard seltzers isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Sales of spiked seltzers topped $1.5 billion last year. Industry experts say those drinkers spend $200 more on alcohol compared to average households.
Well, they are part of the family, and today is our chance to show them just how important they are. Coming up, we're celebrating National Love Your Pet Day with a few of our favorite four-legged friends.
And still to come on Good Morning Indiana, Metro Police will soon have a new way to help officers address mental health needs. At 6, our Rafael Sanchez tells us what's being unleashed. We'll be right back.
Only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Well, they are part of the family, of course, and most definitely devoted to us. Today is our chance to show them just how important they are.
It is National Love Your Pet Day, and this morning we thought we'd introduce you to some of Good Morning Indiana's favorite pets. This little guy is Smudge. He belongs to our producer Elizabeth's parents. And here we have Sammy and Pierre. They belong to our producer Kona. And only one cat on the team this morning. This is Bama. She belongs to our producer Carl. Carmine is our photographer Eldon's good girl. Sydney belongs to our director Emily. And this little girl Ellie, she belongs to GMI reporter Kelsey. There was Alyssa Donovan's golden retriever Chloe. Here's my gypsy, a Shiba Inu. And last but not least, Miss Molly.
Yeah.
There she is.
She is wondering where her special treats are on this special day.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she'll be waiting at home for us to get home and we may have to run to the pet store on our way home, Meredith.
We don't have, we give Gypsy is so spoiled that it doesn't have to be
Molly
a
likes
national
having
holiday
an egg
to
on
get
her
a
food. I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
Living the high life.
Big fresh chicken fan in our household. So, all right, Todd, no dogs for Todd. No
Someday the pet of the week is just going to steal your heart.
I know. That's what I'm waiting for.
I'm just not home enough to have a
You're
pet.
too much of a gypsy.
I'm too much to go all the time, so it wouldn't be fair. All right, outside right now we're dealing with mostly cloudy skies and temperatures. I do like fish, though, that are goldfish. I'm thinking about getting an aquarium. Temperatures will be in the 20s and throughout the morning hours, eventually 29 for your high temperature this afternoon with more sunshine as the day goes on. Stay with us. We're back in just a few minutes.
Today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 5:30, 4 teens are set to appear in court in connection to a quadruple homicide today. Our Kelsey Anderson has the latest on the case and how long the Marion County prosecutor says the suspects could be behind bars. And a big development project is being proposed in Carmel. We look at the building plans and why it could cause some shops and restaurants to relocate. But first, here on your Thursday morning, we want to get a check of our weather with meteorologist Todd Clausen. You're going to need those sunglasses again today, Todd.
You know, it's been the best stretch of weather as far as sunshine that we've seen this entire month. It started yesterday. You need those sunglasses today, and you'll use them all the way through the weekend. That is the good news. The bad news is it's pretty cold this morning. You need the jacket once again as you walk out the door. And your outdoor workout's good to go at any point throughout the day today. You'll just need to bundle up, and no threat of any rainfall or snow for that matter in the forecast, because if we did have precipitation today, it would be snow since we're not getting above the freezing mark. 29 in Bloomington, 25 in Indy right now. Pair of twos as you work your way from Tipton up into the Peru area. It's also 22 over in Richmond. So these clouds are actually helping us out a little bit this morning. If we didn't have the clouds in place, our temperatures would be down in the teens this morning, but we will not get there. These clouds will hold in place throughout the morning hours, and then they'll gradually start to thin from north to south throughout the afternoon. So it will brighten up a little bit as the day goes on. But even once we do get into the sunshine later on this afternoon with a north wind, our temperatures are just not going to warm much at all. About 28 degrees by the noon hour, and then maybe just going up another degree or two throughout the afternoon for your high temperatures. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here is a live look right now at traffic on the near east side, I-70 and Rural Street. You can see traffic here is picking up. No delays to slow you down, so that is great news. Let's take a look over on the west side right now. Eastbound I-74 from State Road 267 to I-465. It's a quick 7-minute drive, so that won't slow you down at all. Maybe you're heading in from Brownsburg or areas on the west side. Let's take a look in that spot right now. I-465 and I-74. Traffic is moving along up to speed this morning. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated on any crashes or delays throughout your Thursday, and we'll let you know if you need to reroute. Well, 4 suspects arrested in connection to that quadruple homicide on the city's northeast side. They are due in court today.
All of them facing murder and robbery charges related to the shooting at the Carriage House East Apartments 2 weeks ago. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with the latest on this case. Kelsey.
Hey, good morning. So we learned yesterday during a press conference about the 4 arrests, all 4 suspects under the age of 20. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears filed the charges against Rodriguez Anderson, Cameron Banks, Desmond Banks, and LaShawn Watkins. All 4 are facing multiple counts of murder and robbery resulting in bodily injury. Charges that Mears say could potentially put them away for life.
When you look at the potential penalties as it relates to murder charge, and there are 4 separate counts of murder, there are 4 separate counts of felony murder, we are literally talking in the hundreds and hundreds of years that these individuals are potentially going to serve if a jury were to find them guilty.
IMPD Chief Randall Taylor says the crime was solved with the assistance from the community, IMPD officers, and detectives who worked extra hours for a break in this case. But he says their work isn't done because there are still unsolved homicides here in the Circle City. Now, the families of the 4 victims tell us that they are now spending their time honoring their loved ones and laying them to rest and continuing to grieve. Their funerals will be held this week. We've got all of the information for you over on the RTV6 News app. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. We can tell you funeral services for those victims in the quadruple homicide will be held this week. 20-year-old Marcel Wills, 19-year-old Jalen Roberts, they will be laid to rest today. Funerals for 21-year-old Braxton Ford and 21-year-old Kamari Hunt are going to be on Saturday. You can find more information on the arrangements right now on the RTV6 app.
One way the city of Indianapolis is trying to reduce violence is through an organization called Voices. It's a treatment program that provides services to court-appointed boys of middle and high school age. Voices is a program meant to address the effects of violence, poverty, and limited high-quality educational opportunities. Last year, Voices received one of Indianapolis's 2019 violence prevention grants, and they say the funding has made a major difference.
It was huge. We're a really small organization, and so when we get grant awards like that, that allows us to be able to be really intentional in the work that we're doing. So we're able to bring on additional staff to do that one-on-one care or that relationship building with kids. We're able to get out into the community more. Just that having that extra resources for an organization like this it makes a world of difference.
Voices tries to expose boys to educational enrichment, cognitive, behavioral, and art therapies, self-expression workshops, life skills groups, and community engagement projects. The organization says only 11% of the boys involved in the program have reoffended.
A former Colts wide receiver is in a Texas jail being held without bond this morning. Federal agents say Quan Bray was a passenger in a vehicle busted with 157 pounds of marijuana inside. Bray was riding with NFL offensive tackle Greg Robinson at the time. Authorities say they found several large duffel bags with the marijuana and $3,100 in cash in the car. They are being charged with conspiracy to possess marijuana and intent to distribute. Bray played for the Colts from 2015 to 2017.
A newborn baby was safely surrendered at a Northeast Indiana safe haven baby box. The baby girl was immediately recovered from the box in New Haven and taken to a local hospital. The box had just been installed at the community's fire station less than 2 months ago. Officials say the newborn will be released from the hospital and placed with the Department of Child Services. This is the 6th baby to be surrendered in an Indiana baby box in the past 2 years.
More than 2,100 people have died from coronavirus around the world, according to the latest update. And now a global company based in Indiana is taking steps to help fight that outbreak. Cummins is donating medical supplies for hospitals in the Wuhan, China area, the center of the outbreak. The engine manufacturer has a significant presence in China. Some of the supplies have already arrived.
A proposal to make major changes in Carmel is expected to go before the council in the next few months. A developer wants to build luxury condos at 126th and Rangeline Road. The plan does not include commercial space, so the shops and restaurants currently on the property would have to find a new location. For some workers and residents, the possible new development is bittersweet.
I think condos are important. There are a lot of new families coming in, but I think the businesses are important as well. Some of them are so niche, and people love having small restaurants close by.
I think it's great for the city. It's changed so much since I've been here, and I really like seeing what's going on. I love the ice rink at Christmas time and all the different things. I like the statues that they're putting in the roundabouts. But so it's got pluses and minuses, and in the long run, I think it's good for the city. It's just sad to leave.
City leaders say when the time comes, they will work with businesses impacted by any changes. We'll continue to follow the proposal and let you know when it's presented to the Carmel City Council.
This morning, a Carmel Wildlife Preserve is asking for your help to find a missing animal. Cool Creek Park and Nature Center believes someone stole their Russian tortoise named Sputnik. He disappeared sometime over the weekend while the park was open. According to a Facebook post, the park thinks someone may have stolen him from his tank. Staff members are worried about Sputnik's health and safety. If you have any information that could help them, call the park at 317-774-2500. It is 5:38 on your Thursday, and Todd, as kids are getting up and deciding what they want to wear today, they need to bring the winter coat along.
Yeah, the winter coat, the hat and gloves probably needed this morning and definitely tomorrow morning, as that actually will be running even a little bit colder. But on average, we're right around 21 to 22 degrees here across most of the area this morning, with skies that are mostly cloudy. No threat of any precipitation, though. You do not need to have the rain gear handy throughout the day today. And as the kids come home from school, you come home from work, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. So the day will feature more in the way of sunshine the second half of the day compared to this morning, with a temperature right around 29 degrees. So a storm system is going to pass just to the south. We will not see any of the precipitation, but it is close enough to bring the clouds into the picture. The further north you are, the thinner the clouds are. The further south you are, the thicker the clouds are this morning. We'll see these clouds decrease from north to south. So today's a dry day. Yesterday was a dry day. Friday will be dry. Saturday will be dry. And Sunday now, I've pushed the showers back until very late in the day on Sunday. It's more of an issue for Monday. So this is a nice stretch of dry weather. And the better news is not only is it going to be dry, it's going to turn warmer just in time for the weekend. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
A billionaire who calls women fat broads and horse-faced lesbians. And no, I'm not talking about Donald Trump.
Democratic candidates targeting billionaire Michael Bloomberg in his first appearance on the debate stage. The fire exchanges as candidates battle for the Nevada caucus.
And the popular video app TikTok is giving parents more control over their kids' content. The features it's rolling out to manage activity and time spent on the platform. It's 5:39. We'll be right back.
What a relief it is. So fast.
Democrats coming out swinging, with most of the blows landing on billionaire Michael Bloomberg. Debate number 9 quickly turned into an all-out brawl in Las Vegas as Bloomberg made his first appearance on the stage. The candidates also took aim at Senator Bernie Sanders as the current frontrunner. ABC's Kenneth Moten has more.
The 2020 Democratic rivals wasted no time denouncing the newcomer on stage.
A billionaire who calls women fat broads and horse-faced lesbians. And no, I'm not talking about Donald Trump.
Former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg hit back, saying he was the only candidate who could defeat President Trump.
I'm a New Yorker. I know how to take on an arrogant con man like Donald Trump.
Bloomberg apologized for the policing policy known as stop and frisk, which he defended as recently as last year, that overwhelmingly targeted people of color.
I've sat, I've apologized, I've asked for forgiveness. There is no great answer to a lot of these problems. And if we took off everybody that was wrong on off this panel, everybody that was wrong on criminal justice at some time in their careers, there'd be nobody else up here.
The field also attacked the emerging frontrunner, Senator Bernie Sanders, who was forced to defend his health care and economic policies.
I believe in democratic socialism for working people, not billionaires. Health care for all.
The best-known socialist in the country happens to be a millionaire with 3 houses. What I miss here?
Senator Amy Klobuchar and former Mayor Pete Buttigieg competing for the same moderate voters, clashing several times. Once over Klobuchar recently not knowing the name of the president of Mexico.
Are you trying to say that I'm dumb, or are you mocking me here, Pete?
I'm saying that you shouldn't trivialize
I made an error.
Former Vice President Joe Biden slipping in the polls, touting his record.
I'm the only one on this stage that actually got anything done on health care. Okay?
Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
It is 5:45. After much controversy, former Trump advisor Roger Stone set to be sentenced today. Stone was convicted of lying to Congress, obstruction, and witness tampering in the Russia probe. All 4 federal prosecutors in his case quit last week after Attorney General William Barr retracted their sentencing recommendation. They asked for him to serve 7 to 9 years in prison. Barr took that back after President Trump criticized the recommendation, saying it was too harsh. Now it's up to a judge to decide later today.
Fans in Brooklyn and Top artists are mourning the loss of rising rapper Pop Smoke. Last night, a tribute was held in the neighborhood where he reportedly shot some of his first music videos. The 20-year-old artist was killed during a home invasion in Hollywood, California yesterday morning. Police say up to 6 attackers were involved, but no arrests have been made. Fans in his hometown say he was an inspiration.
Motivated this whole neighborhood. Made us all want to be great. He showed us what really can happen if you work hard.
Several top entertainers also mourned Pop Smoke on Twitter, including Nicki Minaj and 50 Cent.
Australian and U.S. firefighters are getting a 70-foot-tall thank you after months of battling devastating bushfires. The New South Wales Rural Fire Service put on this message on a billboard in New York City's Times Square to show appreciation in, quote, the biggest way possible. It says, imagine fighting a bushfire higher than this billboard, and then thanks to the firefighters for defending Australia. The advertising company that owned the space donated that board. The massive fires in New South Wales state were finally declared contained last week. It is 5:46. Time to take a check of our forecast with Todd Clausen. Todd, what do you got for us?
All right, so I put the tulips up here. Think spring. We're playing a little game here. Throwback Thursday. On this date 2 years ago, what do you think the temperature was?
Maybe...
Think spring.
46.
86?
56.
56? All right, you're getting there.
Oh,
77 degrees. If you remember, I remember playing. I was living in Broad Ripple, and the Monon was just a zoo. There were so many people out and about, and it was a 2-day stretch. We will not get to 77 degrees here in the forecast for the day today, unfortunately, but it can happen this time of year. 25 degrees, that's the current temperature right now. The winds are out of the north at 10 miles per hour, and it's not so much the wind speed that's the issue today. It's the wind direction. That northerly wind is a cold wind, and that is what is going to keep our temperatures from warming much at all throughout the course of the day today. 24 in Martinsville, 29 in Bloomington, 24 is the current temperature in Muncie. So as we work our way throughout the day today, we start off with clouds and we'll end with sunshine. So we'll see more in the way of sunshine as the day goes on. That is the good news. But look at these temperatures. They just don't really warm much at all. Only going up to right around 30 degrees for our afternoon high. 6 p.m. temperatures back down to 27. So yeah, you just need to bundle up a little bit if you're going to be out and about. But as I always say, and Lauren was talking about it earlier, the sunshine this time of year, if you have it, it just makes it feel better out there compared to the overcast skies. So the clouds are in place right now. They're part of a storm system that's unfortunately bringing some heavy rain to flooded areas down in the southeast. We will miss out on this precipitation. We're just getting the glancing blow with the cloud cover that's in place. So as we work our way throughout the day, hour by hour, temperatures don't really do a whole lot. Will be, again, only up to right around 30 degrees for your afternoon high. And then this evening, if you have plans, you're just going to see the temperatures eventually fall back down through the 20s with mainly clear skies across the area. Fast forward to tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning is going to be cold. We'll have clear skies. Temperatures are going down into the teens for just about everybody. So tomorrow morning starts off frigid with those temperatures down into the teens. But as the day goes on, we'll start to see our temperatures moderate. 27 degrees by the noon hour with mostly sunny skies. Then eventually a high temperature of 35 degrees by tomorrow afternoon. And as far as your weekend goes, it's going to be a pretty nice one. 45 degrees on Saturday, 51 on Sunday. You see that 20% chance of rain. That is after sunset. The daytime hours on Sunday should be dry, so you can get out there and enjoy the warmer weather for the weekend. And then it stays in the 40s for Monday and Tuesday, but it does turn pretty wet. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are planning out your drive this morning. As you're heading in from the south side, take a look here. Drive times from Stones Crossing Road to I-465, a quick 11-minute drive. And on northbound I-65 here on the south side from Southport Road to I-70 at the North Split, no delays, a quick 10-minute commute. Let's take a turn to the northwest side up in the Dogleg, I-65 and I-865. Lots of headlights hopping on the interstate, as you can see here at the on-ramp. Everything is traveling smoothly. No crashes in this spot to slow down your commute.
The popular video app TikTok is working to give parents more control over how teenagers use it. The platform just rolled out a new feature called Family Safe Mode. It lets parents manage their kids' activities and their time spent on the app. For example, parents can turn off direct messages, restrict content, and set time limits. Right now, it is only available in some European countries. TikTok has not said if or when it plans to launch in the U.S.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have set a date for their transition from royalty. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have March 31st set as the date for the 12-month transition period period to begin. Prince Harry will keep his honorary military titles, the ranks of Major, Lieutenant Commander, and Squadron Leader, but he won't be using them during the one-year period. The use of the word royal by the couple is also under review, according to a palace source. Discussions are still underway, but the term will likely be taken away from the Sussex's branding.
If you're a frequent flyer, you may have noticed more people waiting around the airport this past year. The Transportation Department says the number of delayed and canceled flights were both up in 2019, and travelers were often stuck waiting longer than usual. However, it seems most people almost expect it now. The number of complaints filed was nearly the same as 2018. The most punctual airlines last year were Hawaiian and Delta.
Doctors are pushing for a brain physical to be added to a regular checkup. They say it could change the way Alzheimer's is diagnosed. It's a 10-minute test on an iPad that challenges your cognitive ability like memory and processing times. Doctors say it's also a much less expensive way to test for Alzheimer's than the current method.
Hockey fans, Chipotle has a perk for you tomorrow. The company says you will be able to get 2 meals for the price of 1, but only if you show up in a hockey jersey. That's easy enough. You have to also eat inside the restaurant. The promotion is part of celebrations marking the 40th anniversary of the Miracle on Ice. That is when the U.S. national hockey team beat the highly favored Soviet team in the Winter Olympics.
Cheesecake Factory is releasing a new line of desserts. After the break, the 7 new ice cream flavors coming soon to your store shelves. It's 5:52. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The 2020 Altima.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 5:55 on your Thursday, and here's a look at your commute right now on the northeast side. Lots of headlights moving across your screen at I-465 near East 82nd Street. Traffic is still traveling up to speed in that area. Great news if you're heading out the door this morning.
The Cheesecake Factory is adding a new treat to its many sweet desserts. The restaurant chain announced it's releasing a line of ice cream. It's partnering with Wells Enterprises, which produces Blue Bunny and Halo Top brands. There are 7 Cheesecake Factory flavors, including chocolate, cookies and cream, and key lime. The company says the flavors will have real cheesecake ingredients incorporated into the mix. The new ice cream is expected to hit grocery stores in April, and hopefully the temps will be a little more warm by then. And the ice cream will be a little more enjoyable. On a day like today, not so much.
Yeah, at least if you're having ice cream today, you don't have to worry about it melting as you walk out the door. So I always like to look at things positive, right? All right, outside right now, temperatures are in the 20s. It's 25 in Indy, as well as Muncie 27 in Bloomington. Storm Team 6 radar is quiet. There's some clouds out there this morning, but no precipitation. That is the good news. And as we work our way throughout the course of the day today, we will see mostly sunny skies. Temperatures today climb up to right around freezing in southern locations, 29 in Indy, 27 in Peru. So it's still a colder day for us. But the good news is going forward in this forecast, we have warmer days ahead. It's a very cold start tomorrow at 13, but then up to 36 degrees. And the weekend looking pretty nice. Plenty of sunshine, mid-40s on Saturday, low 50s on Sunday.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Only on RTV6, targeting anxiety, depression, and mental health issues. The latest addition to the police ranks, meant to help. It's 5:56. Stick around. We'll be right back.